we were talking before about mattress store, right? When I used to work at the mattress store, and you bought your mattress from a place called Sleepy's. And they had a similar logo, and I worked at It's Bedtime, which is no longer a company. And the logo that they had was 3 bears in a bed together. It was like a mama bear, a baby bear, and a papa bear, all
I remember.
in one bed together. And when I was working there, they told me a story that someone called one time to complain about their logo and was disturbed at the insinuations that their logo presented of, animals in bed together. And they're like trying to understand what this woman is saying. And she's not able to even really articulate what she's upset about, because there is nothing to be upset about. No. She's trying to draw they're all of the bears are in clothing. Like they're all in pajamas. They all have pajama hats on. Like, yeah, she was very
adorable.
Very upset about the insinuations of bestiality.
Bestiality.
Yes, because they're all sleeping together in a bed. That these, we're insinuating that the animals are having sex together, and that even though it's evidently a mama bear, a baby bear, and a papa bear, they're quite evidently a family.
Dude, that definitely says way more about her than it does about the logo.
It was and that's what they're like. It was a fairly long conversation because they were just trying to understand what she was actually upset about.
What are you talking about?
She was not able to articulate it. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, the off-gassing of mattresses and stuff like that we were talking about. It's such a weird concept when you think with all the new kind of foam technology in mattresses and stuff. It's like a thing you got to keep an eye out, because you open those things up and then you're like, oh, what is that? Oh, just sweet lady cancer.
Yes.
That's what that smells like.
Exactly.
Oy. Although I'm not going to lie, I do want to get me one of them box mattresses. The mail order shows up in a box. You cut it open and it just unfolds. And
which one? Which company?
I'm thinking I would want to get the Jeff Bezos mattress. Is it a thread? Tufton Needle, I think is what it's called.
I have no idea.
Yeah, there's an Amazon brand, and it's slightly cheaper than like the Ghost mattress is wicked expensive, and then there's a couple other ones that are not too bad, but that one's like the best deal, and it looks like it's got great reviews and stuff. But that's what I want to get. I want to get me one of them jams and make me a nice new bed frame and stuff. You could see in the studio, I have my old bed frame off to the side here off camera, because we took that apart and we're doing something different.
You're going to give Bezos more money, huh?
I already gave him so much money. I give him all my money anyways. It's just so convenient, but also Jeff Bezos.
That's right. Hola, William Wallace. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, sir.
Shout out Will Wallace. He was he was talking to me this morning about yesterday's beer show video.
Okay.
And I was having like this problem recently about trying to be able to show, a nice close-up, high-quality picture of like what the beer looks like up close. He's like, bro, just get like a little underlight. They make special coasters for him like that. That's a fucking great idea.
Genius.
Shout out Will Wallace, bro.
Genius, William Wallace.
Yeah.
You're getting a 0.5% cut in future beer show things.
Hey, careful, bro. 0.5% cut of an undetermined amount of time.
That's right. That's right. We'll talk about what your cut is in the future. Mm-hmm. You'll be involved somehow.
You're under contract though. We got you.
So let me ask you this, right? I was watching Timcast this morning, the episode from last night, because of course I had to hear our name said. So again,
indeed,
shout out Timcast. It's very nice. And I was listening to something that, what is her name? Libby Emmons.
Libby Emmons.
That's the name, right? Yep. And they were talking about protests and the different ways that the left and the right fight for their rights, right? And how the different adversity that they come after, and the conservatives don't fight as hard and stuff like that. And I was just thinking, so this is a very rough question because it was just from this morning, but she was talking about how conservatives and the people on the right needed to fight harder in different ways. And okay, so the example she was giving was live and let die, right? For too long they have given this live and let die way of like, well, I don't care if I don't agree with you, but go ahead and do your own thing. And what I took from what she was saying is that has led to the chipping away of the rights that we're continually fighting for and arguing for, right?
Yeah.
And it didn't sound to me like she was giving a lot of advice or examples of things that they should do, just saying kind of they shouldn't be doing this anymore. And so I don't know if you remember that part of the conversation.
Not really.
But so I was wondering what your take was on that, if you think that that's true. And she also talks about some of the things about how because people on the left have begun to be increasingly in positions of power. When people on the right do protest and fight for their rights, they often get more pushback from the establishment than people on the left do.
And I think just going off of that and not remembering that specific conversation, I feel like I've heard her talk about that before. And I think really what's being described is like the right in general is not very good at activism. Even the activists that they do have can be kind of, they're generally like in the pro-life arena and stuff like that, and they can be very unapproachable, if you will. But other than that, I think in general, the right's always kind of generally had a problem with on-the-ground activism, getting popularizing movements, if you will. I think they've always been bad at that, and they've always been bad at like voter outreach and all these types of things. So all the specific issues that they might be trying to push, they're just generally speaking just bad at it. I just don't think, and it lends itself to the type of person that would consider themselves a conservative, I think, compared to, somebody who's more left. They're much more open socially and are willing to go out there and beat the pavement and just have random conversations with people. And they're much more agreeable most of the time. So they're, it just lends themselves to a better, larger activist crowd in my mind. And so I don't necessarily agree with her if that's her line of thinking. And it would be, I think it is getting better now. I think it's probably the best it's been in a very long time as far as, for lack of a better term, right-wing activism, conservative activism. But it's still, we're not having pussy marches with hundreds of thousands of people where the left can do that just by dropping a line on Twitter and then boom, it's out in the streets and protests. And the right doesn't do that very well.
And I think it just lines up more naturally with the ideology, which maybe falls into kind of what she's talking about, that if you're a conservative, then you're going to come from a more conservative place, obviously, right? So if you're coming from a more libertarian mindset, then you don't want other people to necessarily change their mind. You're not trying to change their mind. You just want them to not be infringing on what you want to do.
Yeah.
So the whole approach doesn't necessarily fit to even what your goals are as a conservative, right?
Yeah, it's like the difference between somebody trying to push a change in society versus somebody that's basically just wanting society to be, to be left alone.
Right.
A better way to put that's probably the left is generally trying to get people to do something, and the right is generally getting people to like leave them alone.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably, they're just, it doesn't work very well on that side.
It's hard to have a protest where the message is leave us alone.
Yeah. Really?
That's a weird protest to have.
Right. Imagine those signs.
Right.
If it's not just a bunch of Gadsden flags, I don't know what you're doing, but
that's
just
a bunch of signs
deal.
that say fuck off. That's just all the signs says.
Fuck off.
Just fuck off. That's it.
God, that would be pretty funny.
That's awesome. Okay, well, I'm into it. I want to thank everybody again for joining us and remind you, obviously, we are here at our youtube.com/saltofthestreets. We also have our Patreon, our Facebook, our Instagram, everything at Salt of the Streets, saltofthestreets.com for all of this information. We also have our personal social media. I am at Salt of the Street on Twitter and at alpaca_Donovan on Instagram, and Collins at BigBird on both of those things. Again, you can find all this at saltofthestreets.com. Go to our Patreon, sign up, help us make more, better content. Become a patron. I want to thank Swell Blended for this beautiful, beautiful haircut. If you are in the local area, in the Kitsap County area, go there. Go to his website. Go get a haircut from him. Stop being stupid. Quit wasting your own time. Leggings and aprons on Instagram for cakes and everything like that. She is getting ready to open those books back up pretty soon.
That'll be cool.
Lexi Caio on Twitch. And, of course, location, skate shop in downtown Bremerton if you need anything. Speaking of the Patreon, we have all kinds of stuff going on. We have the book club, obviously. We missed the first live stream back, but don't worry. Next Thursday, we will be back. The beginning of next month, we will have a whole new review preview. We have the newsletters that just came out, right? There's one that comes out every month, the last day of the month. So go there, check those out. Only $5 a month. That's all it takes to get you that newsletter.
$5, bro.
It's a beautiful thing.
$5.
So.
Welcome to the Salt of the